Welcome to Spanish 1. This is week 19. For our conversation this week, the only thing we added was how to say your name in a different way. So we would say, I would say, I am Miss Ruby. Well, this says something similar. This says, I am William. So soy is I am, and Guillermo is William. So we're also going to be learning this verb this week. It's a completely irregular verb, and so it goes along with the week that we're studying. We did not do our vocab because we were on our Zoom call. We did not do our verbs with our pronouns, but just as a reminder, if you want to say I want, it's quiero. If you want to say I can, it's puedo. We skipped our oral quiz. And then if we have these words for our first word, the first two syllables, we cannot end this one in a vowel because a C cannot go with the T in the next syllable. So we would have to end this one with a C. And then for our next one, we can't end this one in a vowel. We have to keep going. And so those are our two syllables. Now, does this end in an N, an S, or a vowel? It does not. It does not follow this rule. So we have to follow this rule. It does not. So it has to be accented or emphasized on the last syllable. And so we would underline that and we would pronounce that actriz. Actriz. So for our next word, can we end this with a vowel? We cannot, because we cannot combine the N with the G, so we have to grab the N. So what about this one? Can we end with a vowel here? We can. Can we end with a vowel here? We can, and we have to go all the way to the E, because look, we have a weak I. And then of course our last syllable is here. Okay, so what does this word end with? It ends with an O. So it follows this rule. It ends with a vowel. And so which syllable is going to be emphasized? Well, it's going to be the next to last syllable. So we'll just go here and make sure we emphasize this. So this is ingeniero. Ingeniero. And in case you don't remember what ingeniero is, it's an engineer. Okay, going to the next word. We have can we end with a vowel on this one? We cannot, because again we have a CT. And then of course the last one, we have to grab that R because we don't have anything after it. So now which syllable gets the emphasis? Well, what does it end with? It doesn't end with an N, it doesn't end with an S, it doesn't end with a vowel. So we have to go with the last syllable. And so the way we pronounce this is doctor. Doctor. And then last but not least, can we end with this vowel? Oh my goodness, we can. So the A is all by itself. It is all by, everyone in class missed this. What about the next one? Can it end in a vowel? Yes, it can. What about the next one? It can as well. And look at that. They all end with a vowel. What a happy Spanish word. Okay, so since this one ends with a vowel, then we're going to follow this rule. Ends with a vowel, so the next to last syllable is underlined. And so we would pronounce this abogado, abogado. And if you don't remember from your vocabulary, this is a lawyer or an attorney. Lawyers don't call themselves lawyers, they call themselves attorneys. The reason I know this is my husband is an attorney. Okay, for our lesson this week, we have, like I was saying, our verbs. So we're going to learn how to say I am. So the same verb is used to say am, is, are. You just have to learn to conjugate it. And it's completely irregular, and so you just have to memorize it. So just like in English, the verb in English is to be. And we change that into am, is, are, depending on what subject we're using. So that's how we're going to learn that's what we're going to learn in Spanish. And the crazy part in Spanish is to be, there's two different words. There's two different verbs that mean to be. So the first verb that means to be is estar. And so you would use estar to say am, is, or are if it's something that's temporary. So like if you're talking about the kitchen being dirty, then that's a temporary thing. So you would use está for is. Or if you're talking about someone, how they're feeling, like she's sad, or what someone's doing, they're walking, or where someone is, all of those are temporary. So just remember the temporary goes with the T word, estar. So things that aren't temporary are going to use the verb ser. And that's where you get your es from. So if you're talking about something's color, what day of the week it is, something that belongs to someone, talking about someone's religion, if you're saying a gift is for someone, or an idea like it is perfect, or where an event is going to take place, then you would use the word es. You would use the word es. Okay, so our Bible story this week, we're talking about manna, so we have food from heaven. The Israelitas traveled for muchos días. They were cansados en hambre. They complained to Moisés, "There's nothing to comer in the desert. At least we had comida in Egipto. Now we are hambre." Dios heard them. That evening, Dios sent birds called quail to the Israelitas to comer. The next mañana, Dios sent bread from heaven. It was called manna and tasted like honey. The Israelitas found the manna on the ground, but they complained again, "We are sad, we are thirsty." Moisés asked Dios what to do. Dios said, "Hit the rock with your staff." When Moisés hit it, cool, fresh agua gushed out for everyone to drink. And so my notes down here. So anytime you read a Bible story and it's not out of the Bible, just know sometimes there's little mistakes. And so I try not to read the mistakes if I find them. So at the end of the story, it says they never go thirsty again, but that's actually not true. Later on, they go thirsty again. They get thirsty again, and Moses is told to speak to a rock, and he doesn't speak to it. He hits it, and he gets in really big trouble for it because he did not honor God in front of the people. But because of how the people were treating God in this story, they were not being grateful. They were not asking nicely. They were just complaining, and complaining is so sinful. And God ended up killing some of the Israelites for how they were acting, for how they were treating him and treating Moses. And so the place where some of these things happened, they named it the graves of craving, because they craved certain foods and they became ungrateful just because they didn't have a certain food to eat that they used to have in Egypt. And they forgot all the things he had already done for them and where he was leading them. Okay, did we already do the country? I forget what we've done and what we haven't done. Let's see if I can find it in here somewhere. Okay, our country for this week is Colombia, and that's not it either. There it is. Okay. So Colombia is at the top of South America. It touches the Panama, where the Panama Canal is. And then it is named after Colombia. Didn't I already do this? I think I did. I don't know. Coffee's the third, Colombia's the third largest producer of coffee beans, and the national anthem is played 2 times a day. Elders are deeply respected. We are supposed to rise before our elders. I'm sorry if that's a repeat. I can't remember if I've already recorded that for this class. I probably have. Anyway. Okay, so we had wonderful presentations this week. I'm so sorry if you missed that. We had Hope, who spoke on Nicaragua, and she talked about the poverty in Nicaragua, especially among the natives. They live on less than $1 a day. And we talked about how a lot of the natives don't even speak Spanish. They still speak a native language. And so they can't even really get jobs in the city because they can't speak Spanish. Then we also had Noelle shared with us the national bird of Mexico is the golden eagle, and she showed us a video of the golden eagle actually chasing away a grizzly bear. So quite the fearsome bird. Pretty neat. Oh, and I'm sorry, we actually did not play our game, and so I'm not going to even show you that because we ran out of time with the 2 presentations on Zoom, but we'll hopefully get to play that next week. And have a great week. We hope to see you then.